Hey everyone, this week I hosted a Clubhouse room to discuss how to create inspiring influencer content, avoid corporate brand speak, and still create content that delivers against your marketing targets. I was delighted to co-host this with Michael Brito from the Zeno Group, Anita Vaselli from Ericsson, Daniel Guzman from Mercer. I also had wonderful influencers, Theo, Evan Kirstel, Brian Fanzo, and Cyril Cost, who work in predominantly the tech influencer space. The real challenge that marketers are feeling is that when you get given branded content to promote and you're wanting to integrate influencers, to not ask them to just amplify the content to be able to create influencer content that really resonates with your target audience. So here are 9 practical tips that came out of our discussion. Number 1, it's really important to give the editorial freedom to the influencers to personalize their content. So when you've got the branded content, you want them to read the branded content and to translate it in their own personal story so that it's much more authentic and it will put their own spin and just feel much more relatable in a human way. Number 2, it's to move from campaign to engagement model. So when you get given branded content or you have a product launch or a white paper, then this is a campaign that you're trying to sort of hit certain KPIs with. If you zoom out from that and really think about what is the engagement model in the wider theme, then you can interact with influencers and collaborate with them to create really great content assets on the wider theme, and then your call to action can link back to your particular product launch or white paper, whatever content asset you're trying to drive your KPIs on. Number 3, it's less of a formal engagement with influencers and more creating industry content that recognizes those influencer voices. So this requires a more in-depth research approach. If you find the influencers with the right knowledge, expertise, and the right vernacular who are speaking in a really great way to drive innovation or to solve challenges within the marketplace, what you can do as a brand is create industry content that highlights or features those influencers and talks in the very same way that they are talking to their audiences. This aligned content fashion is great for organic influence engagement because you're not paying these influencers, you're just recognizing them and maybe quoting them. But over many months, what you can do is you can not only drive awareness and great content assets, but the influencers will share your content as well. And it's all in a sort of a quid pro quo value exchange model. Number 4, it's enabling the influencers to get to know your brand better. Bring the influencers in, educate them on what your brand is all about, and make them part of your journey so that they really invest more into this sort of content creation. Number 5, it's integrating influencers earlier on in the content creation process. If you have a white paper, for example, it's probably already complete, and so it's quite hard to get influencers' opinions in the white paper. But if you're working with trusted brand ambassadors, then you can actually ask for their opinions. They can contribute to that white paper, and they feel much more invested in it. If you're looking at a product launch or something like that, then try to get influencers' opinions right at the start of the engagement process, so those thoughts and opinions can generate a lot of content by themselves. Number 6 is making your brand attractive to influencers. So there's a lot of brands creating content on societal impact, sustainability, tech for good, social purpose. And if you're creating really good content assets across themes like that, then influencers are naturally going to want to work with you. At Analytica, we speak to thousands of influencers and they name brands that they would love to collaborate with. And this is one way in which you can make yourself attractive to them. Number 7 is connecting the influencers to your internal execs and subject matter experts. Influencers don't want to talk into a vacuum. So if you're able to connect your internal experts with relevant topical influencers, then they can start talking in a community together and co-creating content. And that content is going to be really inspiring to your target audience, and it's not going to sound like corporate brand speak. Number 8, it's creating trust and transparency around your objectives. So as a marketer, you might want to talk about some of the KPIs that you need to hit, but also some of the brand themes you want to talk about. By sharing those and by asking the influencers about their objectives, then you can really get that mutual value exchange, and then that in turn translates into better content rather than just like pushing out your brand content. And lastly, number 9 it's having that long-term mindset. Influencers, if they know you want to work with them over the longer term, they're just going to invest much more of their time into creating a great experience for your end target audience. If you've got a one-off campaign mindset, then they're going to deliver against a particular brief, and especially if it's paid, but they're not going to be as invested as if it's a many-month engagement that might be lucrative for them, or that might align with their passions and their goals. Hope that's useful. It was a really good discussion. I was very grateful for everyone that joined. We're going to be hosting a Clubhouse room every single Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. GMT. And if you're interested in any kind of resources, please visit Onlytica's website, www.onlytica.com. Speak to you soon. See you there.